Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Mike Pisani with AlphaShark.com, and this special presentation tonight on June 5th is tips for trading, trading tips for success. And this is a little idea I came up with because a lot of people keep asking me, Mike, what do you do? What's your day like? What's your routine like? What do I have to do? So I thought I'd put together a little presentation on this tonight. If you want to get a hold of me outside of here, Mike at smartoptiontrading.com. That's my website. On Twitter at OptionsMike. You guys who follow me know I post tons of stuff out there for free that's not included in my subscription service, and I post a lot of it real time. You guys should follow me there. And on YouTube at youtube.com/OptionsMike, and you'll get notified anytime I put up a free video, which I do once or twice a week. You guys ready? You guys excited? Or you guys all fried from the heat? Ready. Thank you, Arthur. Let's do it. All right. So first off, risk disclaimer. Day trading, short-term trading, options trading, and futures trading are extremely risky undertakings. They generally are not appropriate for someone with limited capital, little or no trading experience, and or a low tolerance for risk. Never execute a trade unless you can afford to and are prepared to lose your entire investment. All trading operations involve serious risk, and you can lose your entire investment. No trades are recommendations or advice, and we cannot be sued for losses of capital. All trades are for educational purpose only. Contact your broker, RIA, for execution, margin, other capital requirements. Everyone watching this presentation adheres to all disclaimers on AlphaShark.com and myself, Mike Pisani. Arthur, everybody else is having no problem. Everybody else said the sound was clear. You want to try to restart and come back in? And I am recording this, so you know. All right, so for tonight, couple things to go over. Trading tips for your success. I want to go over what I do and what makes me successful and what my routines look like. Always we go over market sentiment, what the markets are doing. We look at the indexes and some of the oscillators and sentiment. I do have a couple institutional flow ideas I want to go over with you. We just did this last week. I got to tell you right now, I am not in love with any of the flow the last couple of days for the most part. Just so you know. So these are not considered to be the greatest plays out there. I want to talk to you about the learning opportunity. I went over this last week. It was supposed to be this Saturday. I have to apologize for people who signed up. I had a family thing kick in on Friday, and I had to push it a week. It will be, no matter what, this Saturday. And then you're charged to the end. Sound good? Yep, it's about the class for this Saturday. It'll be quick. I'm not going to harp on it, so we're going to do it. I think recoil got pushed, Chris. We wanted to deliver the fulfillment to everybody for my class. It was a last minute, and again, I apologize. It was a very last minute thing. It was a personal thing with my family that I had to take care of. I don't usually do stuff like that. It happens. Okay, trading tips. Let's go into it. So, trading tips, and I want to call this basically your commitment. And your commitment is basically time and developing a routine. And then I'm going to talk to you about tips, right? And time is, we all have a limited amount of time per day, but some people think that this is something you can just do and make money, and that really can't be further from the truth if you don't put the time in. And really developing a routine basically helps you just get into a practice of what you need to do every day. Whether you're a full-time trader like me or you're part-time, you can take something away from this. So let's get into it. Trading tips, time, okay? If you're doing this full-time like me and a lot of other people, this is your job. If you're doing it part-time, you need to take it seriously and treat it like it's another job, a part-time job or something you're working on. So for me, there's 3 basic times of the day when it comes to the market. First off is pre-market, 6 a.m. to 9:30. And this is all about planning out your day, right? Looking at news, looking what's going on, planning what you want today or what you think is going to happen today or what you're looking to do today. And for me, I spend a lot of time during this time doing that. If you're a part-time trader, you may spend 15 minutes to a half hour. For me, it's pretty much a full-time for 3.5 hours with a little bit in between it. Then we go to market hours, right? Market hours are laser sharp focus, 9:30 to 4. The markets are opening, they're humping. I'm taking trades, I'm managing my trades, I'm watching news, paying attention to everything going on. Now, for you guys who know me and are in my service, you guys will be the first person to know when things are slow, like today got really slow in the middle of the day. I'll be the first one to joke around and goof off. But, when the markets are moving or I'm in a trade that I'm very actively in and watching, I'll ignore everything around me. And then the last part is probably one of the most important parts. And this is the people always forget about. After hours, 4 p.m. till whenever. And that's when you need to do your research. This is when you need to look at what happened during the day and then make sure you know what you're getting into tomorrow and start formulating ideas and plans of what you want to look at tomorrow. Coming up with what you want to do tomorrow and for the week doesn't happen by accident. For you people who follow me on Twitter, most Sundays I post, 30, 40 charts to you guys for free. And you guys get to see, giving thoughts on things I'm looking at that point. So this has to happen every night to a certain extent. So we're going to go into it. So let's start off with it. Trading tips pre-market. First thing I'm doing is, what happened overnight? Europe, Asia, how they hold up in the markets. Anything going on with oil? Anything, that we need to know at that point that are affecting the markets from politics? What are the futures markets doing? Are we up? Are we down? And really the most important part of this, guys, is the volume. What kind of volume are we getting on the futures market, right? If we're up a little bit or down a little bit and there's no volume, I don't care. If we're down big on no volume, probably don't care. Or up big. But if there's a lot of volume, that's telling, right? When these big guys come in and they start trading futures, the big guys and the funds, they're telling you that they're moving the markets big time in the pre-market because there's something very volatile going on in the world that they're worried about, and they're not willing to wait till the market opens. Probably one of the most important things here is upgrades and downgrades. Every day there's tons and tons and tons of upgrades and downgrades out there, right? And you need to know what's going on with any name you're in. How many people in here have been caught in a position by a stealth downgrade or upgrade? Right? Or comes in at the last minute, or you're scrambling because you're looking at it for the first time and your position, you're down, right? You're down huge, right? You're looking at it in the morning, you come in, you look at it, you're like, why am I down? What's going on? All right, it's a part of the nature of the game, but you need to understand this. So you need to know what's going on in your names, but also names you want to play, right? And in names you want to play, you can play off these upgrades and downgrades. But the one thing you need to know is that not every firm is equal. Right? So a lot of people out there are like, they say, oh, there was an upgrade by this name. And you ever see me when I put an upgrade out in the morning, they say, who? All right? Some of these guys, they just don't matter. But there's guys out there that swing a lot of weight. So who are some of the big firms that swing a lot of weight? And different firms have more weight in different sectors, right? But you guys know the names out there, right? Cohen, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, right? Come up with some of the other ones, right? These big names out there that swing tremendous weight when they come in and do a big upgrade. Who was the one I can't think of right now off the top of my head? Nomura, big one. All right? You got to pay attention when these guys come out and they come in and do it. Did I misspell it? Oh, you're right, I did. Thank you. There you go. How's that? Thank you, Charles. Donald Trump. All right, so understanding that. And then what events are in play for that day, right? Is there a Fed numbers that day, job numbers, crude numbers? Are there political events going on? To your point, KM, is Trump going to be speaking at some point that we know about? Like, this is an actual event. Is the Fed chairman going to speak? Because those have been hairy. Those have been a couple of hairy events every time he gets in front of the microphone since he took over. And, when are earnings coming? Any name you're playing, you should always, always, always know when earnings are coming, right? This way you know what to expect, or no, don't get caught in that. You don't want to get caught in earnings unless you don't care. If you're buying something, you say, I'm holding this for the next 2 years no matter what, don't worry about it. But if you're trading something, and, as traders, we trade in and out of stuff, you need to know information, right? So this is what I'm working on pre-market. I'm looking at earnings. I'm looking at earnings events that took place pre-market, and are they playable, right? Can I play off that number? You watch the earnings report, and can I play off that pop, or is it too far gone that it's out of my range? This makes sense, guys? Okay. Okay, trading tips during the market hours, right? So this is when you're trading, you're managing your trades, you're entering trades, exiting. I'm moving stops up based upon the action that's taking place. And most important thing I'm doing is I'm taking profits. I'm always looking to take profits, put money in my pocket. I hate, there's nothing worse than holding a position, getting up the next morning and it's down for no reason. And you're now not sure what the heck's going on with it. All right. So that's some of the stuff I'm doing there. Most importantly, I'm watching the volume in the name. So this chart was from today. Anybody guess what name that was today? Anybody playing trading today? Not HD, Chris. Not Twitter. Not Micron. It got option flow today. They bought right into the close on it. Not MYL. Roku. Graham wins. Roku. Thank you very much, Graham. Nice job. Graham, I'll give you a free month of my service if you send me an email at mike@smartoptiontrading.com. In fact, I'll put it into you now. There you go. Just send me an email later on. It's on. You know I do that every once in a while, guys. Keep you guys interested. All right, so this is Roku today. See that volume down below? Look at that volume. That's confirming this move, right? And I love hearing that you guys made money on tech. That was sweet, right? Look at that volume down there. That's confirming that move today as we broke above that range and are pushing off the 8-day, right? So, we're watching to see these type of moves and what should be played and to make ideas on what looks good, okay? Option flow. I love the option flow. I call it out all day long in my service. We make trades based upon it. Option it front row runs a move in the name. Guess who had option flow in the close yesterday afternoon? Right at the close. Roku. Right? So stuff like that comes in and, we look for stuff like that. So the option flow often tells us names to be looking for and what to be looking at. And then I'm looking during the day's events. Are there conferences, shareholders meetings, like Tesla had a shareholders meeting tonight at 5:30. What's going on out there? We had the biotech conference this weekend. All right. Your option flow are the options that they're buying and trading or selling or trading on the stocks. And basically, there's leverage. So when they're playing with that, they're looking for a big move or move in their direction. So they'll use that to get more leverage on a position. Or for other reasons, but we're not in here to teach you about option flow tonight. If you're interested in that, send me an email. Hit me up at mike@smartoptiontrading.com. I have courses I do offer on that to teach you about option flow. All right, so this is what we're doing during the market hours. After hours, right? After hours is news, and news. So, big news tends to come out after the close. You guys see tonight, X got it to the high end of their range tonight. That's big for X. That's a big, big upturn for steel names, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Earnings reports come out after hours. A lot of them. We have them pre-market, but more after hours is the busier time. And I'm always watching for insider purchases. Does anybody remember a couple years ago the massive insider purchasing that Netflix had about a year and a half ago, and the move that led to in that stock by that one director? Right? So stuff like that can often tell you to stay with a trade and to get into it. So some of the things to look for after hours. And then chart review. All right? You have to look at charts. All right? Are the names you're in getting extended? Everybody should know this name. This one should be a no-brainer. What name's this one? Come on. Twitter, Michael. You win. You got it. Michael wins. Twitter, right? Twitter. This is the easy one, right? What am I showing you here today, right? While I love Twitter, I only have very little position left on it here at this point, right? Because look how far it's run. Look at RSI. Look how far it is off the 8-day here. Does this mean that the trade is over? No, this does not mean the trade is over. What this means is that it's heated, it's extended, and it's time to take your profits. For the last 2 days, 3 days, I've been taking money out of Twitter. I have no options left in it as of this morning. I'm down to a couple hundred shares that I've been holding since 17. Took some more off today, And this is how I manage my trades and keep moving in. Do I think it can go higher? Sure. Do I think it's gone far here? Absolutely. But so you're looking. Why am I looking at this and showing this? It's overbought. It's overbought and it's extended. And if I didn't get out today, I should be looking to sell this tomorrow. Right? This is what this is telling me, this chart. If for some reason I didn't sell today, I should be looking to take profits in this tomorrow and lighten up, maybe leave a runner in place. And then you want to do sector review. And this is looking for sector rotation, right? The last 2 days they've been in retail. Almost everybody missed it. I didn't pick it up till late because they were stealthy. They were quiet about it. But retail names, Target, Coors moved today. Macy's had a huge move. Kohl's had a massive move. Right? Some of these names were absolutely in fuego the last 3 days in very, very quiet, sneaky moves. So they're rotating around quietly. So you got to watch for that. So this is what we do after hours. Does this make sense to you guys? Is this helpful? All right. A lot of you people, I don't think a lot of people do this. All right. So then I get the next question. What's my routine look like in a day? And remember, I do this full time. So this is what my day looks like. Okay. Pre-market, 6 o'clock, I'm awake. And what I do is I pull my laptop out of my bed and I start looking at the futures and I look at, the foreign markets are doing. And then I take a glance at the CNBC, even though it usually causes me great pain. But I take a look at CNBC and see what any kind of news headlines are out there and CNN and some of these other websites to see is there anything going on that I need to be aware of at 6 a.m. that was important enough for me to find. 6:30 to 9:30. By 6:30, I've moved out. I'm in front of my main computer now. And, now I have my news up. I'm looking at upgrades and downgrades. I'm tweeting information out that I'm seeing. Any earnings that are taking place at this point, I'm looking at them, seeing how they're reacting to it. Deborah, for me, this is all Eastern time. I'm in New Jersey. So this is all Eastern time for me. And I know you people who live on the West Coast, this is incredibly much harder. But you guys are also done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have your whole day ahead of you. So it kind of works out both ways. But you don't have to, I'm not saying you need to be up at 6. This is what I do. Okay, this is my routine. So I'm tweeting this information out. I'm looking at all upgrades and downgrades. And what I'm doing at this point is I'm starting to formulate, based upon what I did the previous night, a battle plan. And, I don't mean like I'm going to war, but like these are the names I want to watch today. I'm thinking the market's going to be good today. I'm thinking the market's going to be bad today. Or there's times I'll tell everybody out there, I don't have a feel for what's going to happen here. I don't have a good feel today, one way or the other. So I'm going to take it easy and watch the action develop. There are days like that when you come in and you have no good feel. You're looking at the names, nothing standing out at you. There's no news or anything that's jumping out at you. So you'll play the action. You'll look for things. Okay. Then at 7:30, once it starts loaded, it's loaded, and I'm starting to look at open interest changes. And this, for me, is one of the most important things I'm doing. I'm looking at open interest changes to make sure the option flow I saw the day before stuck. It was correct. To make sure that positions I'm still in, they didn't close out and get away. Manufacturing money. Yeah, you're looking, James, you're right. Looking to take money out of the market. That's my job. Make money and take it out of the market. Okay. So we're looking at that. I'm watching earnings reactions during this time. If a name reported in the morning, how's it reacting? If a name got upgraded or downgraded, how's it reacting? Okay. All this I'm doing, and then at around 7:45, I shoot a 10 or so minute video for people in my service, telling them what I like, why I like it, and we go over the action in the pre-market. And then at 9 a.m., I'm live for a half an hour, talking to everybody. Okay. Open interest changes I get from my option scanner, so it comes directly to me. All right. So then 9 a.m. I'm talking to people. So this is what my pre-market looks like, guys. This is pretty much every day. Trading day, 9:30 to 4. Tracking names on my game plan. So, I may have 1 name, 2 name. I may have 10 names I put out there for an idea that day. Sometimes I have longs. Sometimes I have shorts. Sometimes there's both. We're tracking names. We're looking at the plan. We're seeing how things are playing out. So I have my names I have my list for that day. And then there's names I'm always watching. So I have side charts with about 20 charts up that I always have on a 5-minute chart that I'm taking a look at. And then I'm also, so names like Apple and Facebook, guys, and Netflix and Micron, X, and these up, in different sectors, financials, XLF, chart of the VIX, chart of the XLE, right? So lots and lots of different stuff on there. And then I'm looking to talk about the names that I don't have, right? I'm tracking. So today, Hain was on my list and CMG was on my list. So, these are names that today I wanted to take trades in, but they weren't on my normal side charts, right? So keeping track. It's Cedar. How do you track open interest the previous day? Well, you can do it on your own. If you see 5,000 calls bought in a name today, and the next day, if they're not added to open interest or they're subtracted, that should tell you exactly what happened. And you can do that in any options, in any trading platform like Thinkorswim, for example. All right. So this is what I'm doing to that point. Option flow, option flow, option flow, option flow. Flow starts coming in when the market opens, and I track it all the way to the close. And, if I have a name on my list and I like the setup technically and we get flow in it, I usually don't hesitate. I just jump in on it and I'm off and running at that point with it. If not, I look at the chart first and I get to look, and also I look at the flow. Is it a sweeper? Is it a block? This is different things that I'm doing. And then I'm watching news. You have to, guys, have some type of news information. News, the faster I can get it, the more I can react. If a stock is popping and I can't find the news, I'm hesitating. Most importantly, once there's news, like today, there was a buyout rumor on VIPs, right? That Bob was going to buy them. I look for the volume and the option flow after the news. And that's the key to getting a winning trade. It's not just the news, right? Because everything pops on news one way or the other. It's what is the market's reaction to it. And that's what I'm looking for the most. Elizabeth, I'm not. I always have breakfast and eat something. I work from home, right? So it's great. So I get up, put my, wear whatever I'm going to wear for the day, get my coffee, and I'm good to go. All right. So that's what I'm doing that. And then if you call me, I won't pick up unless it's quiet. I limit my interactions outside trading and people that I am trading with, people in my service, when it's slow. But I will tell you, you have to walk around. You have to take small breaks. You have to get away from the screen every once in a while. You can't sit there glued to the screen the whole time. So you have to take a look and look around, walk around, take a break, take 2 minutes, take 5 minutes. What's the slow time of the day? All right, lunchtime. Typically till 2 o'clock, it's death. Take a walk, clean the brain. You got it, James. Thank you. Human computer, right? No, I don't know of any way to get open interest from a week ago, Raj. You just have to track that on your own. Get a stand-up desk, do some squats. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I have, what are they called? The adjustable weights from Bowflex and an exercise ball and a little bench in my office. I do, in the middle of the day, I'll often go in and work out for a little bit right here in front of my computer so I can keep track. All right. So lots of different things you can do. Okay. After hours, 4 p.m., I'm out the freaking door, guys. 4 p.m. comes, I'm getting away from this computer unless there's some earnings or something taking place that I feel like I want to watch. But most of the time, I'm getting out and going out for a walk, getting some exercise, meeting somebody for a drink or grabbing a bite to eat with somebody, just getting away for a while and doing. And if at the most I'm going to wait around is 30 minutes, right? And that's usually only doing, exactly, family time, doing something fun, getting out, right? Then when I come back in before dinner, if I'm doing dinner, 5 to 6, just quick check of the after hours news, post some stuff that I thought was interesting, check some earnings reactions that I'm interested in, right? So, if I want to play Netflix off of earnings the next day, I want to see how it's holding up after the initial reaction now that the conference call has taken place. This is things you should be doing. And then some point during the night and a slow time, I might even be in front of the TV with my daughter or something, and we're just watching TV. I'll do a little bit of chart work, right? And it's nothing huge. I do my majority of it on Sundays, but it's checking the indexes for signs of overheating or are we breaking support, checking the oscillators, how we're doing, checking names that I'm thinking about for the next day, maybe based on option flow or on news or on events that are coming up, or based on just how the chart was setting up the day before. And then maybe a glance at futures before bed. But honestly, the only time I'm ever really worried about futures is if I have way too much risk on. And I think that's something everybody can relate to, right? If you have too much risk on and the market starts to pull in, you're going to be nervous and scared and worried. I'm sure last week on that Italian day, a lot of people were very, very freaked out, right? For good reason. market suddenly dropped. But, if you manage your risk well and you're taking care of things, it's okay. We're going to go over them right now, PK, so hang in there. We'll go over the oscillators we use right in about 2 minutes. You're welcome. All right. So that's what my routine's like on a daily basis. I have lots of downtime, but I do lots of stuff like that. By the way, I'm the first person to tell you that when things are slow, I'll be cracking jokes. People in my service, or I do moderate in the Alpha Shark chat room day, I'll post dumb pictures once in a while just to keep you guys from trading. When it's really slow and nothing's going on, nothing better than being distracted and not trying to say, oh my God, I need to trade something. Wait, something will come along eventually. Just be patient. Don't chase candles. The one thing I want you guys to remember, we went over summer trading. Today was a great example of a summer trading day, guys. Did you see how low the volume was the last 2 days on the SPY? Don't chase midday candles. Patience, patience, patience. Thank you. All right. Trading tips, and these are actual tips. First off, follow traders and or services that are helpful. People like myself, yeah, we have a service, but try to give you guys a lot of stuff and help on Twitter, and we'll interact with you guys out there all the time. Don't be afraid to branch out. Try new things. Best investment you can make is get a news service, guys. If you're doing this full time, I don't know how you can trade without it unless you have somebody that provides it like me to you in their service, because you can't rely on CNBC. They're slow to get the information out, and they don't cover everything. Services gather from lots of different areas, not just from a couple sources. They have a thing there. Chris. Find an edge in trading. For me, options, flows, and technicals are mine, right? Learn to trust your edge. Did I spell it wrong? I was in a rush. Yeah, I probably did. Yeah. You guys are great. Thank you. Oh, God. You can see I can't type anyway. You guys already know on Twitter I'm a horrible typist. You guys are stuck with me. Anyway, so don't rely on it. All right, keep it simple. Do your homework, guys. You don't have to put the time in I put in every day, but if you don't put any time in, your chances of success are really low. And I say this to you because I don't like when people lose money. Do your homework. You need to know what's going on. If you can't do it or don't want to do it, find someone you trust for a paid service that'll do it for you. I'm not pushing myself tonight. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Do what you need to do, and always, always, always be learning. I do webinars like this for free. I have some I charge for, like the one I'm going to talk about to you guys in a couple minutes. But market is constantly changing. We need to adapt it to it. All right? So, different presentation. I hope this helped a lot of you guys tonight. We've already used a lot of time here, so let's move forward quickly. Sentiment. Okay, we went from a rapid chill to a rapid heat up in 1 week, right? I was last online with you guys doing a webinar last week, this time. Okay, so let's take a look. Fear and greed index. We were at 31 last Tuesday, guys. Now we're at 58. How quickly things change, right? Sentiment going quickly from extremely bearish to getting extremely bullish very, very quick. This market is swinging very, very rapidly on small moves within it. Just be aware. Keep track of it. Little things like this are free. Track it. It could help you in your trading. Okay? StockTwits sentiment. I love this. StockTwits.com. Type in the symbol. It shows you their sentiment. What I like right now is the SPY is still lagging. You see how we're at 52%? The SPY is still lagging. Now, the IWM is through the roof at this point at 64%. Not as high as it can get, but getting there. And the Q's had a massive upturn to 75%. So the one thing these charts are telling me is we need some rotation into the SPY if this rally is going to continue. And we're going to see that in the charts in a second, right? So this is how I use this. When a sector or an area starts to get too hot, right, and these are all different, S&P 500, all right, NASDAQ 100 and the Qs, and the IWM, the small cap, Russell 2000. When we see one area get too hot and somebody else lagging, either we're all going to catch up, or they're going to rotate into another name, to bring that up, or they're all going to come down to the other. So you need to keep an eye on something like that. So one of the oscillators I love is the NYMOT, NYMOT stock charts. You can get this for free. This is not paid. All right, and what this is showing us is we're getting heated again. This is the New York Stock Exchange oscillator. We're up to plus 94, even though we're not moving on the SPY so much. it's getting a little heated. This thing can go over 200. The best signals are when it gets down under 200 to go very, very long. So right here, not worried about it, just paying attention that we're getting a little bit hot again. The NASDAQ, which has been on fire the last couple of days, right? When you think about the FANG names have been participating, even NVIDIA broke out finally. All right, this is the NASDAQ, not the NAMOT. This one's up over 100. This one has room to go higher. This is the one that tends to be able to get hotter than the other one. All right, you can see how this has quietly been building up, and we're starting to see the NASDAQ take a leadership role, which we have not seen since back in February after the correction. So here's your SPY. Last week, we had that big sell-off, and I said to you guys that night, I wouldn't be shocked if they use this and then break us out. Well, guess what? They got everybody stopped out to the short side, on the long side, got everybody short, squeezed the hell out of them, squeezed them again, and now we've broken above this area, and we're breaking out of this tight range we've been in forever. Amen. Now we need to hold it, right? And the longer we hold this 274 area now and digest, the better we are. RSI has room to go. We're only at 60. This could keep going. For me, my next target area, if this is going to continue, would be 280, right? And 280 is the previous high that we touched on over here on the post February correction highs, right? That's your next area if we can take that out. On the VIX, nothing going on here. Every time we pop out of the Bollinger Band and pull back into it, one of those candles, it seems to be a non-event. This was the same thing here, coming down fast. There's no fear in this market right now. Even today, when we started getting a little wiggly in the middle of the day and the VIX was spiking a bit, there was nothing really going on. The Qs finally waking back up. So after lagging the SPY and the IWM for most of the last couple months, the Qs are now a stone's throw from all-time high. Right here, right? Tagged it today, didn't quite hold it, but right there. A little extended. So you need to be aware that the Qs up here, out of the Bollinger Band, well off the 8-day, right? Look at how far off the 8-day are. It probably could use another inside day before it goes. May not get it, but could probably use it. Okay, looks good. RSI, though, is starting to get overbought. RSI can stay overbought for a little bit on the Qs, but you need to just be aware. This is not the time to be initiating on the Qs. This is the time to be moving your stops up and taking profits. How long have I been telling you guys that the IWM has been leading for, right? IWM has been leading us out of this mess we've been in. What I loved last week is it broke out, retested 160 and held, and now it's off to the races. And look at today, brand new all-time high. When all the other indexes were today, this thing exploded higher. They keep coming for it. You do have to be worried, though. RSI is overbought here. This is another place not to be, going into, taking a new position on, but to go and keep moving your stops up if you're in it. This is why I'm saying this is the sector. If they're going to play, the SPY is the one that should go, and the other two could rest. And this is what I'm watching for. That means we need participation from what? A lot of call action today in the IWM, yes. Banks, AS, right. What else? AS, send me an email. I'll give you a free month. XLE, not so much. It had its move. I'm discounting energy here. I'm thinking of something else. How about the transports, guys? Transports. The transports have been beaten up and have not gone and been waiting, right? It's a big sector in there. Biotech, pharma, right? So this is where you have to start looking. Look where they went to the last 2 days. They went to retail. They're looking to rotate. Tech, Yuri has gone. We've had this huge run in tech already. Tech has already left the building. I'm not saying you can't play it and scalp it, but most of the names have left the building already. All right. Institutional flow. First thing, guys, I want to go over with you is I'm not in love. Steve, I do. If you want to reach out to me, I have a class on it, and I'd be happy to send you a link for it. There you go. First thing is, I'm not in love with the flow the last couple of days. When I usually look for flow, I want to swing. There really hasn't been a lot out there. I like a lot of the setups on charts. I like technically where we're at, but I'm not loving the option flow the last couple of days, which sometimes happen. But I have a couple I'm going to give you. Trade them carefully. Okay? First up is Roku. Roku, huge thing. You can see you're on the bottom here. Weekly 39 call buyer yesterday afternoon right into the close, right? The first one on the bottom. And we had the Roku Baba chatter this morning, which I kind of find funny. And then Roku was off to the races. They got swept all the way up today. Nice move. And they swept it again right into the close. This is typically the type of stuff that we get of day two of follow through on, right? A little heated, but usually this type of move that gets us going. Good volume off the 8-day. I love when they come off the 8-day. I didn't take it today. I wish I had. What am I going to tell you? I missed this one today. I thought about it and passed. It happens. But keep an eye on this one tomorrow. This one could be gearing up for a move back up towards 45. VIPs. This one you got to be really careful with here. And the reason is that this has been a laggard in China. All the China names went big. So you can see here, first thing that came in is VIPs chatter from JD. The one reason I don't buy this is because JD has a buyout rumor on it from Tencent, right? That came in 2 weeks ago. Well, why would JD be buying VIPs if they're getting bought out? This doesn't make any sense, right? That said, we saw weekly sweepers start coming in, and then November, big block into the November 13 calls. So if you want to play with this, you have November 13 calls. You got a big block, a big gap to fill. I made a quick scalp on 1,000 shares on this thing when very, very quickly. I was in the trade for less than a minute because I traded it once it started to move to the 200-day, and I had my sell order right there filled and was out. And so, but this is a name, if you want to play for that gap fill, to keep an eye on. Those November 13s will be the way to go if you want to play for that gap fill. They're cheap and they're liquid. All right, so that's a name I like here. If you want to try it, I'm not in it at the moment, not in Roku at the moment. Last one is CRM. So CRM is kind of one I had on my watch list this morning. This, by the way, is from my private Twitter feed. You see what everybody in my service sees. So, yesterday we had two little sweepers into it. The one came in right at the close, those July 140s. You can see this morning I looked at the open interest and made sure they were still there for everybody. You can see there where I talked about my morning setups, what I liked and what I was looking at here. And then you can see it went, right? It went this morning. And it got to 134, and I think this thing will go to 140 if the market holds in. Software's kind of been lagging. It's at an all-time high. So this is a name, if you like, it's something to take a look at. Those options are fairly inexpensive. Another thing I like about them, they're not overly priced. So there's 3 things for you guys to take a look at. Sound good so far? OSTK saw some flow today, Sherlock. It wasn't extremely special, but the chart is perking up. I did take a look at that. You're welcome. I think the biggest one I saw in OSTK, there was a couple of them small. The one that caught my attention, I think, was a January buyer, or was it December? January 30s, 250 of them. They paid $10.50, and I know they weren't closing because it was much bigger than the open interest, the volume. So somebody went deep in the money on OSTK. So there's one for you. I don't know that I trade that, but I keep an eye on it. All right. So since I have you here, guys, let's talk to you about my educational offering. It will be delivered this Saturday, and it's day trading off option flow and technicals. So this is a special course. Went over this with you last week. Using technicals and option flow to day trade. You can use this to swing trade as well. Love unusual option flow. It's a great tool, and you can trade off of it and you can scalp off of it. And oftentimes you get a quick move off of option flow because they come in piling in on top of it. And you can trade it in different ways. We're going to go over how you can trade it with options, different types of options. You can trade it with common. And what you need to learn is to learn how to identify the right types of option flow to day trade off of. And we'll go over that in this course, what they are and why we're looking for sweepers and momentum to really get in on and watch what's going on. And also we want to look at the technicals. Where's the stock? When they bought Hain a couple of days ago, technically the chart looked like hell, but if you looked at the chart, it was very overbought. I'm sorry, oversold. and it looked like a decent place for it to try to bounce, and he actually finally gave a nice 2-day bounce for people who stayed with it. So we use technical analysis in the option flow to either day trade or swing trade. We're going to focus on day trading this time. So this is an example of Roku, right? We talked about this. Call buyers came into Roku early, and the first thing that stood out is they had been missing from this name forever. There had been nothing going on in this name. So when the first call buyers came in, this stuck out like a sore thumb. That first 5-minute candle was in fuego, and then it flagged, right? And we're going to talk about patterns and how to trade them. And after that, it gave you another $2 move if you stuck with it. I have an indicator on here that's free. It's a study you can get from almost every trading platform that would have helped you stay in this trade today. And that's the ATR trailing stop. And you could have basically stayed with this on a day trade from 37 to 38.50 without having an issue. That's $1.50 on common, or with options, you're making money either way you're going with that. Mark, if you're not a subscriber, you need to find somebody who does, or pay for a service, or pay for a piece of software like I use myself. All right. The Roku flow was so strong into the close that we put this on the radar for day 2. And you can see that big candle gave even a bigger one. No overnight risk, entered back in on the first 5 minutes, and we got in that and had a huge day 2. Made a nice chunk of change off of Roku last week. It was a beautiful trade. Gave nice 2-day moves, and the option flow kept coming for it. So these are the type of things I want to teach you, is how to recognize these and how to trade off of these and take a look at stuff like that. Yep, higher lows on the 5 all day long. Great point, Chris. So using option flow to day trades, we're going to go over how to identify the momentum flow, what to look for, what you should be looking at technicals to determine where to get in. You don't necessarily want to change a massive 5-minute bar that is way extended off of everything. Sometimes you want to see if it pulls in a little bit before you chase it. We're going to talk to you about how to recognize the right types of volume to chase after and when not to chase after volume. How to recognize, how to set up your charts for intraday charts for trading, how I do it. I'll show you specifically step by step what I do, and patterns we look for in day trading, the types of option buys and types of flow we're looking for, and the repeat action specifically, and where to put your stop losses and how I do it on unusual options, and where to start taking profits. So this is what I'm going to go over with you in this course. This is a special course. It's 2 hours. You can sign up by http://alphashark.com/using-technicals. Okay, I'm going to post this to all of you guys. If you're interested, you can sign up. Okay, it's 2 hours. Follow-up mentoring session is Saturday, June 16th, 1 to 1:30. So you get 2 hours of the course. We get a half an hour follow-up for questions and answers the following Saturday. It will be recorded. You'll get a copy of it. Andrew is also throwing in the TOS higher low indicator that he has out there for free. And it's only $99, guys, for 2.5 hours of teaching. I charge a lot more for private mentoring. So if you're interested in, I promise you I'll make this worth your time to be there for the 2.5 hours on this course. So if you're interested, sign up. 2.5 hours of teaching for only $99. That's a great deal. Any questions at this point, as it's 8:45 and my throat is in? Love it, Arthur. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. Again, I apologize for people who missed last Saturday. Not something I normally like to do is postpone. John, it will be recorded. So not only if you can't be there live, you'll get the recording, and I'll record the mentoring session as well. But if you're there live, I can answer questions as they come up more often. I don't know what AK did, Sankar, but what I do is I don't trade like AK. I trade very differently. So you'll learn what I do and what I look for, and the types of flow I day trade off of, and how I set my charts to recognize when to get in, when to get out, and how to make money and where to put your stops. I don't think AK teaches that. So this is some of the different ways I trade. It's this Saturday, 1 to 3, the 9th. And then the mentoring session is the following. I want to give you guys a week to digest the information. So for that half hour, I can answer questions and go over things for you. And you guys know me. I'll probably do more than a half hour if there's a ton of questions, because, yeah, you know what? I'm always trying to help you guys out. All right. What I'm teaching, you could use in swing trading. I do a lot of day trading. I do swing trading. People in my service, I'm just swinging the hell out of Twitter. I had June, July, August, and January calls coming into this week. So I've been swinging, swinging the hell out of Twitter. Chris is saying highly recommends people sign up for my class. Thank you, Chris. You know, I'm gonna show you stuff most people probably don't teach. I'm gonna show you how to do it, and thing you can go over is you can learn how to trade either with options or with common, day trade with options or with common, and different types of options to trade with, and where to put your stops to keep your losses small, and how to move your stops up as things go on. You're welcome, Chris. Thank you. I love having you. All right. Any other questions on this? Did they screw it up again? No, does it? No. It's this Saturday. The webinar is hang on. I may go beat somebody over there. No, it's for this Saturday, June 9th. You know how I know? I can see it. There you go. Thank you, Elizabeth, for pointing it out. So it is set up right. Okay, it's set up correctly. All right. I do use weeklies to day trade sometimes. I also a lot of times do not. I find the gift of time allows me to hold the trade overnight if I want. Also, it's not decaying as fast, and the options aren't getting whipped around as fast. This is something I'll go over with you guys in the webinar. Thank you for the question, JC. I appreciate that. Any other questions? If not, I have time for a couple charts with you guys. Baba. Everybody loves the Baba now. Remember how hated this name was? All right. All right. We always try to do this. So we broke out the blue skies finally on Friday, right? Extended yesterday. And, listen, you could look at this chart and say, on Twitter? All right. Elizabeth, I know it's supposed to be the 9th. I'll look up and I'll check with everybody. Thank you very much for that. So at this point, we finally broke out. Now, a bullish sign, guys, would be a retest and a hold. So if we came back and retested the 206 area and held it, that would be a sign to try and get long. I would not chase it up here. RSI is overheated. Doesn't mean we can't go higher. We're extended off the 8-day and we're out of the Bollinger Band. So like the IWM, if we came and retested this area, I would try it off of there, especially if the 8-day caught up. So that's how I'd look to trade this. Ulta got a nasty downgrade today. All right. So I woke up this morning. I went to bed yesterday looking at the chart saying Ulta was on my list for today. Guess what happened this morning when I woke up and I saw GS smack it down with the downgrade, JP? I'm like, yeah, so much for Ulta today. That said, it didn't react all that bad as it could. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm not sure why they downgraded. I didn't get to look at the details, unfortunately. Right now, it's not on my radar for tomorrow at this point. You signed up Friday and didn't get a receipt, and then the email confirmation. I don't know. This is through Alpha Shark. It's not through me directly. If it was through me, you would get something directly. You should get something, Robert. Email me, and I'll have a look into it for you, okay? And make sure you're on it. Tesla, we had the shareholders meeting tonight. Okay. The good news is, no surprise, Tesla, they voted down the shareholders trying to take out Elon Musk. And I told everybody in my service, and I said, honestly, the chances of them doing that are slim, as 60% of the stock is held by people loyal to him. You can see now we're up almost $3 after hours. Musk also said a couple of things, like he expects to be profitable in the third, positive cash flow in the third and fourth quarter. And also, he's opening a new gigabyte shop. I think it was in near Shanghai. So I'd watch this for the long side today, right? I would watch this tomorrow to see how it handles. That said, this thing is trading incredibly sloppy. You have a downtrend right here. You can see it's a very, very sharp downtrend on this. Right? There you go. Roughly, quickly drawn. Right? So you can see right there, very sharp downtrend. So play with care until it breaks that. To me, this thing still has room. If it wants to go, it's got room to 310. After that, who knows? Charts, Tesla. Yep, Apple. Yuri, I got long Apple today for the first time in a while. I'm long some July 210 calls, 200 calls. Sorry, 200s on Big Flow. What I like about Apple today is it's extended. It's a little bit up here, but it's holding in. And, I have a feeling that this one's just about to go a little higher. So I took a very small position that I can add aggressively to. It's a little extended here. I'd like to see it rest another session before I went to a full-size position on it. But they keep coming for it, and it's holding in nicely up here. And I like when a stock keeps holding in well. So we'll see what this does going forward tomorrow. Thanks, Randall. SPY, we went over already, guys. SPY we did earlier in this webinar. I don't have much time, so I'm not going to go over it. Visa, there was call buying today for weeklies. I did not take it. It closed well. It's at a new all-time high. The reason I didn't take it is I'm not in love with the financials here, and I consider this to be one of them. I don't know why this is like that. That said, nice move here, getting ready to break out. And if you like the name, I would keep it and trade up here. Looks good. FFIV, I haven't heard that name in a while. Wow. It's amazing. I lose track of names, and this is one of them. Huge move. And this reminds me of Twitter, right? You get these big earnings gap, and it's a game changer. Listen, you don't buy it here, but any dip to the 8-day, you take a shot. If you're in it, you trim and trail. The 8-day is going to keep coming up. Nice move. It's a little, definitely extended though. And the one thing you have to look at this and said, wow, this thing came from 114 to 177 in 6 months, or a little over 6 months, 9 months. Take your profits like I did on Twitter, right? Twitter more than doubled. I've been taking profits all the way up. Doesn't mean it can't keep going, but just realize, it's getting a little tired up here probably. CMG, Alex, I traded CMG today, made some money on it, didn't stay long enough. It closed well, it broke out. This is what you love, textbook, curl, 8-day, boom, explosion. Where can it go to here? I think to me personally, it has room to go higher if it wants it. It's a tough name, though. It very rarely gives a day two, right? Pop, drop. So for me, it's nothing but a scalp here right now. But if you're in it, trim and trail, move up with it, move up with the 8-day. But it doesn't give a lot of day twos. That's the one thing I don't like about CMG. You get a lot of 1 days, and that's it. So you need to be careful with that. Gordon, Amazon's in fuego. Amazon today popped up. I think it hit 1,700. Nope, just missed it. Barely missed it, I think. Or did it hit it? I think it did hit it, actually. Nope, just missed it by a buck. If you're not in it here, you're not chasing it here. You're not going to chase it here. I mean, this is where I tell you guys, you got to look at names that haven't moved so much. You can't keep looking at the same names here right now. This name was a screaming buy down here around 1525, 1580, even 1600, not up $100. What have we got? 156, voice given out. So, Win. Raj, Win got downgraded by DB 2 days ago, and this is ugly. So if you're still in it, I would not be selling here. The reason is it's way too far down. It's extended on big volume distribution, way off the 8-day. RSI is almost oversold at this point. I would wait and sell into a pop. If it pops, if it can't retake the 100-day, get out. They were buying, was it the weekly or the June 185s on this late today? So somebody's looking for a bounce. It was the weekly 180s today. They came in. So somebody's looking for a bounce. So if it gets to 180, that's where I would maybe sell it at that point and take a look at it. Win, Amazon, TAN, the ETF. First Solar is getting killed, so I'm sure that TAN is getting destroyed. TAN is the ETF for the solars. Yeah, getting absolutely destroyed here. Way oversold at this point. I would look for a bounce. For me, it's got to retake the 200-day, right? It lost the 200-day here when it held it on the dip on the when we did our correction. So if it can't retake the 200 today, to me, this thing will be going lower. Do not like the chart. Do not like solars here, except for a counter trend quick trade. FL. All retail was in fuego. Great earnings. Went sideways for a bit. Broke above and now breaking out above the earnings high. Beautiful trade. For me, this is either you trim and trailer, but I'm not chasing it here. Okay. And Twitter. Twitter, guys, for me is gone. Okay. Twitter is the trade for now is over. I love Twitter. You guys, I'm always talking about it. You know, I love trading this name. You know, earlier this year, before it started to go, I was telling everybody in November, I said, I don't know how, but I think in some way, somehow, this thing is getting to 30 sometime soon. And when it hit 30, I said, you know what? I think it's going to hit 30. You can get a little higher, up towards 32. Then I thought when it started coming through here, it could get to 40. Guess what? We've hit 40. My next target on this thing is 45, but not here, not today, not for a while. We need to work some of this off. It's just way too hot up here. What else? Thanks, Elizabeth. All right. So, guys, that's it for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this. All right, we'll do NVIDIA, then I'll call it a night, only because I saw that come up. Thank you. NVIDIA, watch this one again. No, I'm like, that's not right. I'm looking at the chart, and I know that's not right. All right, NVIDIA finally broke out yesterday, right? Beautiful move. Like a lot of other names, a little extended up here. Nice little doji. As long as it holds this breakout here from this previous high, 260, I would try to stay with it and get long it. If it hit 260 and held it like Baba, I would look to get into it. So love this chart. This one can get hot, right? So it can go. I still think NVIDIA somehow, some way gets to 300 by the end of the year. I just don't know how it gets there, guys. So that's my thoughts on that. Guys, thank you all for joining me tonight. I always appreciate, love doing these webinars for you. Thanks for your kind comments. If you're interested in my class, I posted a link for you guys at Alpha Shark. And everybody have a wonderful night and happy trading and good trading to everybody. Catch you guys all the next time. Thanks, guys. All right.